Thank you for tuning in to the Patricia Show. My name is Patricia. Please press likes and subscribe and share this audio with someone who you may think needed. There is so much problems going on YouTube and the world about prophets. You have this prophet Lovi that's really dabbing in witchcraft and lying to the people and taking all of their money, allegedly, as well as Prophet Passion, allegedly. Then you have Larry Reed with a big dispute or arguing or misunderstanding or whatever it is with Prophet Bernard Jordan. Prophet Bernard Jordan was Larry's mentor, and then they broke off from one another, allegedly, because I don't really know what it was because. It sounded to me that Larry Reed was saying that Prophet Jordan had voted for Trump in secret and told him that he wasn't going to vote for Trump. Then Larry came out and said that wasn't the reason. So I don't really know what the reason was. Then you have these preachers in church. There's been a preacher recently that was exposed. He's married, he has a church, and he was exposed for having a homosexual affair with allegedly a prostitute, a male prostitute, and paying him for over a year. The guy that he was with is saying that he didn't know that the man was a minister. And when he found out that the man was a minister, he immediately exposed him. And you have a lot of stories like that coming out from the church. And then you have some of the pastors that's allegedly having sex or molesting some of their people in their church. Whether they're little boys, some of them are little boys, and some of them in some churches are little girls. You have to stop and ask yourself, what is going on? It's like God is showing you that something is wrong in the church, because all of these people are being exposed. But I don't know if people are seeing that. It's just like they'll just go to that church. If that church act up, they'll just go to another church. Then that church act up, they just go to another church. Can't you see that the churches are being exposed? Because it wasn't the truth. The church has never been set up by, I'm going to say, Jesus. Never. Man set the church up. If you look back, you could do your research on this. And every religious, Baptist, Pentecostal, all of it was started by man. It disturbs me a lot that people look at the Bible as historical. The Bible is not historical. They're just nice. Well, I'm not going to tell you what it is because God will reveal that to you. I'm just going to say it's not historical. It gives you a blueprint, the Bible, on how to live your life. But if you want to know what happened back during that time, you have to get out of the Bible and do research to find out what was going on in the earth at that time. Now, I want to refer to the Bible as, when I say this, because some of you, you do put an awfully lot of faith in the Bible because you think that the Bible was narrated or by God, and that just absolutely is not true. But you have to find it out on your own time, on your path. You have to ask God. Jesus taught you that the kingdom of heaven was within. That is what Jesus taught. That was part of his teaching. He didn't say, open up a church. He didn't say, preach about me. He didn't say, create a Bible with different things in it, saying it's God. He didn't say any of that. He said, the kingdom of heaven is within you. Once you have reached the kingdom of heaven, all things will be added to you. That means money, happiness, knowledge, wisdom, understanding, everything. Seek ye first the kingdom of heaven, and all things will be added unto you. That is what he taught. So people are coming out now saying like they're prophets and they got the word of God. No, that is totally not true. And then you find out that they're deceitful and they're just taking your money. Because that's why they got into it. I remember a long time ago, this reporter was exposing different preachers. And this one preacher told his best friend, the reason he became a preacher is because it's the fastest way to become a millionaire. Some of these preachers know what they're teaching are not true, but some of them don't. They think that, what they're teaching is true, and then they play on it to get more money. And some of them know it's not true, and they play on you to get your money. This is the thing. If we're going by the Bible, which most of you are, before Jesus, there were prophets in the Bible. But after Jesus, there were no prophets. And let me tell you why. Because Jesus taught to seek ye first the kingdom within. So this is the thing. Jesus was telling you that you could communicate with God directly. You don't need anybody else to communicate and get a message about you from God. You could get it yourself, and that's why he told you to seek ye first the kingdom of heaven. So now if he's telling you how to connect with God, then you don't need a prophet or anybody else to tell you, God told me to tell you this. You have the ability, is what Jesus was telling you, to go within yourself and communicate to God with God yourself. So now if that's true, what are these people coming out for talking about they prophets? They're just saying that to get your money. And it amazes me how many people are just crazy enough to just get their money. I was listening to this one guy. He's I think you call him a content creator. I'm not gonna say his name. And he was just, because to me he's a gossiper for the church. He just gossip about church events. And he was asking you people for money. Give me $8.81, $5.50. And I'm like, what is he asking for money for? And people were sending 8,800 because he was telling you to send this. I just couldn't believe it. And all these people were just sending him money. He started YouTube. A lot of these people started YouTube and had didn't have any money, and then they started on YouTube and asking you for money when they tell you anything, give you anything. I mean, any information, gossip, and then you're giving them all this money. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. So it's like these people don't even have church anymore in the building. They're having church on YouTube and getting your money from YouTube. And then here's one preacher closing down his church, locked the church doors, locked with the people in it, because he was collecting $40,000, and he didn't want anybody to leave until he collected $40,000. And this is the bad part about it. The people sat in that church and gave him the $40,000. I wouldn't have gave him a dime, because this is my money. If I want to give it to you, that's fine, but you are not going to bully me in the church, lock me in the church to get my money, and then think I'm going to turn around and give it to you too. So some of you people need to wake up. And then when you give the people your money and you find out that they're not real and taking advantage of you, then you get upset. But you have to share some responsibility in that as well. Because what made you so vulnerable to just be giving your money or believing what these so-called prophet and preachers are saying? You get mad at them. Don't get mad at them, get mad at you, because you have to share in that responsibility for being so vulnerable. What makes you think if a preacher tell you, oh, give me $10,000 and God gonna bless you? One lady said, I can't remember how much it was, but this lady was saying that the preacher was asking for a certain amount of money, $2,000 I'm going to say, and she really didn't have it. But because he said she was going to be blessed, she took her last money and got the money up. And then she was never blessed. And then she was so upset because she didn't, she gave him that money. She wrote him, tried calling him to get her money back. Girl, they are not giving you your money back. What made you think that somebody else can pray for you to get a blessing? What's wrong with you praying for yourself to get a blessing? What's wrong with you doing what Jesus said? Go within, communicate with God, and get your blessing. And then they'll come out of this and say, oh, he took my money and I just love Jesus and he took my money. Girl, if you love Jesus, you wouldn't have never did it. Because you don't have faith. You didn't have trust in God in the first place. These people are looking for something outside of themselves. This one girl said that this prophet, allegedly, that calls himself a prophet, Lovey, had told her that will give her a message or something from God. She was so happy just to get the message of God. So she was steadily just giving his church money. She eventually had a romantic sexual relationship with Lovey, allegedly, her and several other women. And allegedly he's doing witchcraft in the church, so now she's coming out to expose him. And angry about what happened to her. But you have to share in that responsibility. Because you were naive enough to give him all your money like that. This is the end of part 1.